Hello, students, and welcome to today's lesson. Today we shall be studying section 1, that is prose, lesson number 1.4, Pillars of Democracy. This lesson is written by Dr. Babasaheb Ambedkar. Dr. Babasaheb Ambedkar, his full name was Bhimrao Ramji Ambedkar. He was born on 14th April 1891 and he died on 6th December 1956. He is also known as Baba Sahib Ambedkar and he was an Indian jurist, economist, politician and social reformer. Baba Sahib Ambedkar inspired the Dalit Buddhist movement and campaigned against social discrimination towards the untouchables. He was independent India's first Minister of Law and Justice and considered as the chief architect of the Constitution of India. He was born in the town and military cantonment of Mhau, which is now known as Dr. Ambedkar Nagar. This is located in Madhya Pradesh. He got his degree from Elphinstone College, which is in Mumbai, and subsequently obtained the doctorate from Columbia University, USA, and London School of Economics. He was also assigned the big and challenging task of framing the Constitution of India. Constitution of India, my dear student, is a book in which all the laws, rules and regulations of running a country is stated. Like in schools and colleges, we have this school calendar. In this calendar, you have what are the various rules and regulations every students, teachers, parents need to follow. And similarly, we follow all those guidelines in order to make sure that the school functions in a smooth manner. Similarly, for a country, for a democratic country, there is this book which has all the rules and regulations, rights and duties of its people, and this book is the Constitution of India. So he played a very important role in framing all the guidelines in the Constitution of India because he was the chairman of the drafting committee. Okay, so he played a very key role in this framing of the Constitution. He was awarded the Bharat Ratna posthumously. Posthumously means after his death. So after his death, he was awarded Bharat Ratna for his dedication and commitment for the welfare of his or our country. Okay. Now, but Dr. Babasaheb Ambedkar in this lesson has laid emphasis on the values of three things, that is, liberty, equality, and fraternity. He says these are the three pillars of democracy. Like for any democratic country, in order to function smoothly, we require to follow and understand the three pillars, that is, liberty, equality, and fraternity. So, in this lesson, he is going to explain to us what these three pillars mean. Now, according to Ambedkar, these principles will make India a strong nation. And he holds this opinion that hero worship is a sure road to degradation. Okay, that like if you have a dictatorship, okay, a person, a sole person who leads the entire country, if you have such kind of a thing, then we are not going to progress. That was his opinion. And eventually the nation will collapse. Okay, so that was the idea that Ambedkar had, and so he was strongly a great believer in democracy, and he made sure that with the help of the constitution, the nation, that is India, was one of the greatest democratic country. So let us begin and understand how he explains the three pillars of democracy. If we wish to maintain democracy, he says, not merely in form but also in fact, what must we do? The first thing in my judgment we must do is to hold fast to constitutional methods of achieving our social and economic objectives. So he says that if we want a good democratic country, if we want to maintain democracy in fact, like just not in on paper, but in reality, if we want democracy, then we have to understand and follow the constitutional methods. We have to understand its social and economic objectives. Okay, He says when there was no way left for constitutional methods for achieving economic and social objectives, there was a great deal of justification for unconstitutional methods. Now, when you do not understand what are the needs of a democracy, then you have all the people who go against the constitutional method, who follow the unconstitutional methods, and that is where we have a lot of confusion. So, where constitutional methods are open, there can be no justification for these unconstitutional methods. So, if you have a proper laid rules and regulation, then there will be no space for any kind of misunderstanding. Okay, these methods are nothing but the grammar of anarchy. Now, he names this term, that is the grammar of anarchy. Now, what is grammar of anarchy? Grammar of anarchy is a state of disorder due to the absence of non recognition of controlling system. So, there is no system as such which can control the people. And so when you do not have such kind of system, then there is a lot of chaos or disorder, and that is known as grammar of anarchy. So the sooner they are abandoned, the better for us. So he says that we have to abandon these methods where we face difficulty in managing the people and the whole country as such, and only then we will be able to establish a proper democratic rule. The second thing we must do is to observe the caution which John Stuart Mill has given to all of us who are interested in maintenance of democracy. Okay, so this is John Stuart Mill. Okay, and he says we can observe what he says. Okay, in terms of maintenance of democracy, and what he says is to lay their liberties at the feet of even a great man, or to trust him with powers which enable him to subvert his their institution. So this is what John Mill says, is that we have to understand what is having liberty. Okay, and how can you enhance the use of liberty while you are in a democratic country. There is nothing wrong in being grateful to great men who have rendered lifelong services to the country, but there are limits to gratefulness. So there are, we are in a country which has a great history, and in our history we have studied about so many great men who have sacrificed their lives for the betterment of our country. So we are thankful and grateful to what they have done, but there is a limit to how grateful we are. We cannot go beyond our limits, or we cannot do things which are not necessary, or which are not healthy for the society, just showing that we are grateful to someone. Okay, so there is a limit to being grateful. The Irish patriot as being well said by the Irish patriot Daniel O'Connell, he says there's this Irish patriot, okay, a person belonging from Ireland, a patriotic person. Okay, like we studied in Rising of the Moon, and we also have seen in that Rising of the Moon also talks about the condition of Ireland when it was under the British rule. Okay, and we know how this person, the prisoner, he also was a patriotic person who was fighting for the freedom of his country, right? So if you remember we can relate to those incidences and see that there's one more person here, Daniel O'Connell, and he says no man can be grateful at the cost of his honor. Okay, like you can be grateful, but not that while being grateful you lose your honor. Okay, you put yourself so much down just to make the other person feel grateful, so that is not right. Okay, that is not good, and no man actually can do that. Okay, by putting his own honor down, he will not be grateful to someone. Also, no woman can be grateful at the cost of her chastity. Chastity is purity and modesty. So, if you ask someone to become grateful at the cost of their purity, then that is not going to happen. And no nation can be grateful at the cost of its liberty. So, a nation, if it has to be grateful to someone, then it will not sacrifice its liberty. So, this caution is far more necessary in the case of India than in case of any other country. So, for in India, Bhakti, or what may be called the path of devotion or hero worship, plays a part in its political unequaled in the magnitude by the part it plays in the politics of any other country. Okay, so he says that in India, okay, we follow bhakti, or we have a lot of many religions or people with different religions, and following various caste system and all of those things. In this scenario, it is very important that these things or the religious aspects do not come in between the politics. Okay, Bhakti in religion may be a road to salvation of the soul, but in politics, bhakti or hero worship is a sure road to degradation. Okay, so he says, okay, you can be religious in your own religion if you want to, kind of worship your god or worship any idol or anything like that. Then it can only play a part in your religion, but do not mix that with politics, because if you do that, then you will surely go to degradation. Means bhakti, as in what you do in bhakti, you worship only one god, right? You worship the god that you believe in. So similarly, hero worship also the same thing, wherein you worship one particular person and you want to, listen to whatever he says, whether it is good or bad for you. So if you do that, then it is definitely going to lead the entire nation towards degradation, because democracy is what we believe in the thoughts of every person who is a part of this country. Okay, so every person's thoughts and needs are put into action, and only then we have the leader which is chosen. But if you follow hero worship, then that is not going to help the country to progress. So on the 26th of January 1950, we are going to enter into a life of contradictions. Yeah, because earlier we had, we had a country which was ruled by the Britishers. Then we had these, rules and regulations which were set up, and now we are going to lead a completely different life. In politics, we will have equality, and in social and economic life, we will have inequality. So he says, if we do not follow the proper terms and conditions of democracy, then maybe in politics we will have equality, but in the society or in the economic life of the people, there will be inequality. So in politics we will be in politics we will have equality. So in politics we will be recognizing the principle of one man one vote. So he says here that what we believe, we all are already aware about it, that when it comes to electing a particular leader, what we believe is one person can give one vote, and every vote has a value. So they say, that everybody who is above 18 and a citizen of India should vote. Why? Because everybody's vote is going to play a very important role in choosing the person that is going to help us take our country to greater standards. So when you do not vote, then you do not give your opinion, or you do not choose the leader that you want. Okay, so this is very important here. So in our social and economic life, we shall, by reason of our social and economic structure, continue to deny the principle of one man one value. Okay, so here we see that in the if we can do one man one value, one vote one value in the political system, but in the social and economic structure, we cannot deny the principle of one man, one value. So how long shall we continue to live like this life of contradiction? Because somewhere you're following a particular thing, the other side you're not following. How long shall we continue to deny equality in our social and economic life? So if we continue to deny it for long, then we will do so only by putting a political democracy in peril, that is in danger. Okay, so equality should not be in politics only, but also should be in the social and economic structure of a country. So we must remove this contradiction at the earliest possible moment, or else those who suffer from inequality will blow up the structure of political democracy. Okay, so that is what he says, that if we do not follow these things in our every aspect, that is political, social and economic, then we are going to suffer from inequality, and the people who suffer from inequality will completely shatter the political democracy, which these people, that is Dr. Babasaheb Ambedkar, and along with him so many people have laboriously means they have put in so much of effort to frame each and every rule and regulation in the Constitution of India, that all will be simply put into waste if we do not follow everything that they say. Okay, then the second thing he says that he wants is the recognition of the principle of fraternity. So the first thing that he said was equality. So equality in political, social, and economic term. Now, second thing that he talks about, the second pillar, that is fraternity. Now, what does fraternity mean? Fraternity means a sense of common brotherhood of all Indians. That is, no matter you're Hindu, no matter you're Muslim, no matter you're Christian, no matter you're Sikh, no matter you're any religion that exists in India, everybody share the common brotherhood. Like each and everybody is related to each other. We are all brothers and sisters. Okay, that is what we say in our pledge. So each one of us living here in this country, who are the citizens of India, who are Indians, who call themselves Indians, are all sharing a common brotherhood, a common bond, which is forever, that is being an Indian. So if Indians being one people, if you have this kind of feeling, then that is fraternity. So it is the principle which gives unity and solidarity to social life. So when you are living in a society, when you are living around with a lot of different people around you, then you have to follow. So like if you are a Hindu, you have a Christian living next to you, you cannot be in like opposite thoughts about each other. If you live like a brotherhood bond, if you have this brotherhood bond, then you will help them when they are in need, they will help you when you are in need, and in that manner living in that particular area will be a peaceful thing. Okay, so he says it is a difficult thing to achieve. Yes, we cannot all of us readily accept the people, the different people that are living around us. Yes, I know it is difficult, but it is not impossible. How difficult it is can be realized from the short story related by James Bryce in his volume on American Commonwealth about the United States of America. Okay, so now we know that other countries around the world are also maybe having a variety of people living there who are the citizens of those countries, but the variety that we have in India is totally distinct from everybody else. In India, we are people with all sorts of ethnic groups and all sorts of communities, castes, etc., living together as a country. So it might be difficult, but he also narrates a incident which was told by James Bryce, okay, in his book that is American Commonwealth, and he talks about the story of United States of America. Now, what that story is, we shall be discussing in the next video. Until then, my dear students, I would like if you read the lesson which is on page number 36 up to at least where we study, like 36 and 37, these two pages we have covered today in our lecture. So please read these two pages thoroughly and try to understand what I have just explained you, and we shall continue in the next video. Till then, thank you and have a nice day.